Okay. Can people hear me now? I think so. I think it looks like it's a little bit better. Um, it was set to use my MacBook's microphone, which is currently in clamshell mode under the monitor stand, so it'll be very difficult to hear. Anyway, let's do that. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me now, or at least a lot better than before. Let me know in the chats if that is the case. But anyway, what I was saying when you couldn't hear me was that today's just going to be a chill stream where we're going to make some component libraries. We've been kind of hard at work, kind of getting the next release of Xircuits ready. And one of the things that it's going to have is making it really easy to kind of right-click and install on different component libraries. And for that, I think we'll need a Xircuits hub, probably available at hub.xircuits.io, where we'll have an index of all the component libraries that are available. And yeah, but for that, we'll need libraries. And I do have a lot of libraries kind of installed locally on my computer, but I think we'll kind of, we still need more, right? So like today I was gonna go through some of the libraries that I think we needed. In particular, there's kind of a use case of like getting information from the internet, right? Like getting scraping pages and stuff like that, like documentation, things of that nature. So yeah, I'm just gonna try maybe working on some browser related stuff today on the stream and see how that goes. So yeah, we'll go and start doing that. So today, because this is going to be browser related, I'll be doing it on my local, since that's the easiest way to do the browser things. Let's go to project. So activate. Let's get that up and running. So that should be good. Let's close that, it's not needed. Let me try to open the chat real quick. Oh man, my computer is like not up for the task here. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so I think we're good to go. So yeah, I definitely need to get my components like synchronized, because like recently I've been using the platform more often, and I've done a couple of things on the platform that work really well, and kind of need to get those component libraries on my computer so that we have, well, ideally we want to get them up on GitHub and just kind of be available for everyone. No reason to make all of them private. Just keep waiting. Can load the theme. That's a weird. Oh, interesting. The interactive session is dead. Why is my interactive session dead? Let's check on the platform real quick to see what's going on. I mean, it is ridiculously old. Like, I've been running it forever, so if it dies, it doesn't necessarily surprise me, but it should be able to restart. And it's also not available at 1. It should be 13. Yeah, so 13 is down. But the container is up and perfectly fine. Which is interesting. Could not determine Jupyter Lab build status without Node.js. What is going on there? We could end the session and start it again, I guess. This should be working fine. Yep. So this is the new kind of integration working out, and that's working out pretty well. So we'll be publishing this Converse, like a new component library called Converse that allows you to kind of make your own pipelines quite easily inside of the platform. And you've been working on it for a while, and it's in a state where I think it's getting pretty good. That is weird. Let's see, what is the kubectl tell me about what's going on with that? Should be interactive session 13. Yeah, it says it's running, but its age is 24 seconds, so that is that's no good. That's no bueno. Sure. Failed due to exit code. Or no, third. Yeah, that's fine because I just started it, turned it off, and I started it again. Ah, I see what it could be. Could be because we are using circuits here, and we've removed some stuff. I mean, it looks like it's still here. That's not fine. Directory not found. That's kind of weird. Did I change something? Might have. I kind of messed up the whole project. Which is not ideal. That did not look ideal at all. Service is running fine, and it is up. That's weird. I'm gonna have to look at that later. But we're not doing anything on engine right now, so platform should be good. And instead, I think I'm going to be working in here, so on my local computer. So the main thing that I want to get done today is I want to make it easy to kind of crawl a site and get this information into Vecto. So for example, our Vecto docs are indexed with Vecto, so you can search it with Vecto. But this is kind of a manual kind of step, and so we want to make that be something that anybody can do pretty easily. And yeah, we have various ways we could do that, but I think I'll focus on kind of a simple use case, because in general we're just interested in like the main content, not everything else. So getting the main content is the biggest issue. And then once we have that main content, it's easy to break it into paragraphs or things of that nature and get it onto the platform. So yeah, I think we'll do that. Now, our options are kind of like use beautiful soup or something else. I guess beautiful soup is perfectly reasonable. I do wonder what that would kind of like look like. So let's create a new component library real quick here. Crawler, I guess, is fine. We can make it be a kind of like a pretty generic crawler. It doesn't have to necessarily be a web crawler, right? Like it could do other things as well, and I think that would actually be not bad. We had like a directory crawler or things of that nature. That would be kind of cool. Crawler components, and let's just grab the basic stuff there. That should be most things that we need. In terms of the terminal, do we have beautiful soup? I think so. Yeah, I need beautiful soup. These things are called beautiful soup 4, right? Yeah, beautiful soup 4 is what we want. So let's go back here. Terminal, pip install that. For 12.2. Let's make requirements.txt. That's for the 12.2. Okay, already satisfied. Also, pretty sure I had it in there somewhere. So anyway, I think we can do, yeah, it's from BS4, that's what it was. Okay, cool. So we do have that. And let's see what kind of workflow do we want there. So let's have an XAI component. We'll have crawler init web. That way we can have things that aren't web. And we have some kind of crawler. Essentially, the way the crawler works is essentially you kind of have like a set of different pages you need to visit to crawl. And as you crawl, you extract the links, and then you kind of add that to the set. And because it's a set, if you have things in there that are already there, you know, they don't get added twice. And then we probably want a kind of like visit page thing so that we can define a pipeline that extracts the information that we want from that page. Then when it comes to the links, we could do the same thing, right? It's just like extract links. It kind of feels like the the default step that you usually want of just get all the A tags, right? That really should be built in, especially if we have like a web crawler, right? So maybe not. What could you make web crawler? And then that has, I'm gonna pass that crawler everywhere. Yeah, maybe you don't want to make web crawler, but init web crawler. And then we can have actually a component to fetch crawl page, fetch page, something like that. Need a crawler class, which is mainly a set of string links. Maybe to visited. Then we have a content triangle. If we do this this way. Let's find our crawler down here. So we have our init web crawler and then our fetch page. On content. It could be like start URL. Then we have our on content. We need to choose whether or not. So the other thing is like how deep, right? Like you got to configure your crawler. Like how deep do you want to go? So maybe we want a component for links. extract links. So on content, or the crawler needs to have a start URL. I have a feeling the start URL might want to be good question. We have the start URL here. Then we do crawler crawl. Could do that. So crawler crawl. And we have the start URL there. And start URL, and then the crawler has an on-page base component, or on-page triangle. Yeah, we'll have an on-page triangle, which starts with the start URL. Then we have fetch page. Content, which is an out our string. And extract links. So list. This takes the content. Yeah, then we want the current URL, which is an out arg string. Probably have some other things here, maybe like some kind of string backend, right? So it'd be like, okay, so that's init in the web crawler. Let's use BS4 as the backend, for example. And we're going to crawl. And then let's crawl https://docs.vecto.ai. Okay, and then after that, we have print crawl finished. Seems reasonable, I think. And then we'll just finish. Okay, so when we have our page, we will fetch page. And the thing is, we can use this content URL to see if we should fetch the page, right? So for example, we'll have a starts with something that we need to remind myself to do, put in details. So let's have a, say, a component class string starts with. I have a feeling I've made this before. Stir, and then prefix is an incomp harvester, and starts with is an out arg of bool. Self that starts with that value is equal to self dot string dot value that starts with self dot prefix dot value. I've had to have written this before somewhere. But anyway, so on page we can do like starts with the URL. We limit it to https://docs.victo.ai. And then if it does, then we want to fetch the page. So when true, fetch page. Okay, let's extract the links. And then maybe we can have some sort of link filter, although this is kind of a link filter in and of itself. I feel like maybe that should go in here. Like this string starts with should be perhaps something that we use to filter out what links go into the to visit set. But we have our links, and then we can choose what to do with that. And one of the things we might want to do with links is to crawler add to frontier. So add to frontier. Oh, those links are not out. That's an in arg. It's like two steps, which might not be necessary. So yeah. And we do kind of have to be a little bit smart when it comes to this, because sometimes a link will be to a page and it has a like an anchor, but it's the same page, it's just anchored to a different part of the documentation or things like that. And we need to kind of treat those all as one link. So we want extract links to be smart, right? It's not just getting a tags. It wants to get a tags, normalize them. Now having two steps means that we can do something about that, right? Like, so we could have logic of, you know, we could check to see if there's search in the URL or something like that. And then only if that is in there, we can add it to the frontier. And then once it's added to the frontier, then this will crawl the next page with that. And then we do that again. That should get us all the pages, but then what do we do with the content? Well, for this case, what we're gonna do so for searching here, what I do for a pretty print of this source code, we can inspect it instead, which will give us more or less what we need. Yeah, so we have our article. Yeah, so in here, this is where we want to define what we're looking for. And kind of filter that in there. So for this vector, we want the article P's. Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty much what we want. And if we were doing that in Beautiful Soup, inside article or something like that. Don't necessarily want to find all. Something like that. Extract all B tags within P tags. Find and then select. So I think we can do something along those lines. Let's test that out here, or we'll test it out in the terminal here. So let's put URL is equal to that. Okay, cool. And if we go here, there was the more or less what we want. What's another thing? The HTML doc is just a string, right? It wasn't in this one, I think it was in here where he was doing, yeah, URL lib, URL lib, something like that. Import URL lib 2. Okay, then we can do that. Now, what does URL lib have? Okay. Lib.request. To the module that we have. Yeah, whatever. That's no good. We'll just use requests. Import requests. Right. Content is equal to request.get URL dot content. Yeah. Okay. Then what we want is to set the soup to be the beautiful soup content. And then we can find all article. Then we can find all these paragraphs. Select these. Oh, wow, that's a good error. That is a good error. It's weird because, you know, the error is like usually this is a list, right? So if it returns a list, then you select it and saying you're treating the list as a single element. Cool, so that will get us the 7 paragraphs in there. I think that is good. Let's have a find all, find first, and then select. And then we could be like, select P0, that's that. Dot get text, is that? Yeah, I think that should be good enough for now. Like, that's a good first step. So So we'll have a put a crawler find elements. Yeah. Starts with contents. String. Just kind of thinking about what to do with the beautiful soup initializing. Find all should we need a root, right? So we could do a parse, right? So like parse HTML, which takes the content, and maybe no DOM, but something along those lines. Out arg of something. And from there, maybe this is parse HTML. What is the type of soup? Do you have a type? BS4, beautiful soup. Yeah, I think we'll just have that's soup. BS4. Let's make sure we import BS4. Import requests. Okay. That way I don't forget it later. So we'll have our soup, and then we'll have crawler find. Maybe I should start calling this one soup, or we could have a beautiful soup thing. Find all. I'll take the BS4 dot to soup. I'm thinking I might want to call this page or something like that instead of soup. This isn't. You have to be really weird to understand the soup reference. I mean, it's just nerdy, right? And then a selector, and then results is an out arg list, right? And then from there you can do a lot. Find first would just give you what is the result of this. Tag. That's not a thing, but it'll tell me what it is anyway. Tag. So it should be a tag, hopefully. I guess it's not necessarily a tag. You can get things that are not tags out of Beautiful Soup. I think you can. I'm not 100% sure. And then what I was doing here is then select and this will take tag BS4 elements.tag, the selector, and then our results. think it's called type, right? So if I do type, yeah, use for on the tag. That's what I wanted. So so our select takes in a tag, and then a selector, and then there's results. And then we can have a soup get text, takes a tag, and then result plus text, which is just a string. What do we have inside of this thing? A lot of stuff. Generating components for all this is doable, but it also can be quite like a lot of stuff, you know. You don't want to have too many components. Yeah, select for each get text. So I think with that, we can draw the thing. So extract the links. Olive fetch page, extract links. I have a feeling that extract links could be a soup thing. So let's get rid of that. Mainly because we kind of do need it. We do need this soup to extract the links. Soup extract links, and then it takes a page. So bs4 beautiful soup. There we go, no errors. So after we fetch the page, we want to get, or no, we need the soup. Parse HTML, yeah, that's what I wanted. Parse HTML. It might not be HTML, like it could be a, you know, PDF or something like that. So it could be that this fails. We need to think about that. Then from there, we extract the links from the page, then add that to the frontier. Then after that, we want to find first, connect the page. We want the first article, right? And from there, we want to select the p tags, right? And then for each soup select should be an array. And then for each p tag, we want to get text like so. And now we have what we need to put into Vecto. So I'll go back here. Let's set up the Vecto library. On a Vecto client. And for vector space, sign in, and then let's create a docs, Vecto docs. Okay, so that should be here. I think I should have a token, right? Yeah, should have a token in my thing. So that should work fine. And then we just need to ingest text. Okay. I have the kind one here. No, I should have it here. Yeah, vector ingest text like that. Exactly. Okay, so we can add the text, but we also want to create a little JSON, and creating JSON is something that's going to be like a little janky, but we can do some things with dict. So if we do set dict value, but don't specify an object, that creates a new one, right? So we'll put the text attribute to be that. That way we have a reference to the original text. If you vectorize and just put it into Vecto, you'll get an ID. But if you don't save that ID somewhere else, you have no other way to get the text. So adding that there is good. We probably want the URL as well. So we'll set another dict value, specify that. Make this be a URL to get us the page that it came from. Now that value comes from current URL. I can either set a variable and get it over there, or I can be lazy and drag it over. I think I'm going to just be lazy and drag it over there. First try. Sweet. Okay. Then we can find out which paragraph it is. So we'll put other set dict value. Put that there. We'll put it to paragraph. See which paragraph this is. Get the current index here. You can do more things like get the title. So if you use Beautiful Soup to get like the previous, like you can search through the parents for an H1, then you can put like that H1 title to put like what title it is. But you know, with these three things, you have more or less what you want. And then from there, we can do a to JSON, which will get us the JSON string of this dictionary. And that string becomes the attribute. Right. This Vecto client actually had to be connected, right? Yeah, let's check to see if that is the case, or if it gets it from, yeah, I'll get it from the context, so we don't need it. That's smart, because yeah, it can, yeah, we'll get it from the context. That way we don't need to do that entire thing. And then we need the text that we want to set, which will be this, like so. Okay, so that should be a crawler. So we'll rename this as crawl Vecto docs. Okay, so that part is done. And now what we have to do is implement it. So in theory, I think it should run. Just make our lives be a little bit easier when following where things are connected to. And that should be a workable pipeline. So now let's implement this thing. So the crawler yes, it's pretty much simply that. Those two things, the to visit and visited. Start URL. And we'll have self.start URL is equal to URL, and then self.to visit equal to set with the URL. Self.visited is equal to the empty set. It's pretty normal there. And then when we init our web crawler, set our context crawler is to a new crawler. I guess we should pass it this backend. Not sure about that backend, but we'll use the backend. I mean, this is either like a beautiful soup type of thing or something else. But since we're like specifying that we're going to use beautiful soup, I don't think we necessarily need that, but we need the start URL. So I think having the start URL here instead of backend makes the most sense. Like that. So if that's the case, then our init crawler, let me load this. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that link, put that in here. And then let's make our lives easier by reusing this variable here. You reload this, it just has on page and current URL. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So we'll do that. Then crawl take the first thing. So I'll put crawler is equal to context crawler. That way we get our latest crawler. Then our next URL is equal to crawler to visit pop. I think a set has a pop. To visit is equal to a set with A, B, and C. That's a good thing to check. Is it append A? Wait, what can you do with a set? Remind me. Add? Yeah, you can add to a set. Okay, then let's add B, then to visit pop gets us A, pop gets us B. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. So we'll do a set and self to visit add URL. I have the feeling there was a way to make a set of a list, right? That's what I think it is. Let's check that. Yeah. Oh, and you can, yeah, that's right. You could use that to visit equal to a way to do that. Yeah, old. When you get old, you kind of put that wrong. But does that make an object or a set? I forget. I have the feeling that that doesn't do necessarily what we want. Yeah, so we have to do it this way. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Could be wrong. And then part of me goes, well, that looks ugly. Right? I guess we'll do that. That way, those are both sets. Okay, so the crawl pops the next URL from to visit. Then we do request.get next URL. Let's do this in this kind of smart way, because as a crawler, it needs to be tolerant, right? We want it to be okay. If it fails, you just keep going, right? So get a response from that, and then if response.status code is 200, and we get our content. Pretty sure that's not a function. Yeah, not a function, just content. I know that fetching is done later. You just do next URL, and then next component is equal to self.onPage. And then while next component next component. So self.current URL value is equal to next URL. I think we probably find the links. Yeah, I think okay, then we do next component.do. Then finally we do crawler.visited.add next URL. So do all the things in the next component until there's nothing left to do. And then, yeah, that. Now the fetch page part. Yeah, we need that URL. In comp arg string. Reload. There we go. Current URL goes there. Self.current URL.value. And if that's the case, then self.content.value is equal to response.content, and that's done. Right? Just don't do things otherwise. So the thing about execute is it's essentially a do, except for it returns next. And what we might want here is to override do and only continue if the status code is 200. So we return none. Yeah, I think that it's probably better that way, and then that way you don't have to have like downstream checking. Add to frontier links, right? And so that would be crawler is equal to context crawler to visit add. Did it have an add all? I have a feeling that's update. Did add only take a thing? So I could have, for example, A and B update set of A and C. Oh, that's an in-place thing. A, B. Okay, now s.update. S is now A, C, and B. I think that's better than a loop, so we will update and then we'll set these links. That seems good to me. Then our parse HTML has the page. So essentially what we want to do is set self.page.value to bs4.beautiful soup self.content.value. Pretty simple. And self.page.value.find all self.selector.value and self.results.value. I have the feeling that this is something we could genericize to make it just easier to wrap a bunch of stuff. Page dot find all selector dot value 0. Let's make this so we'll do res is equal to that if len of res is greater than 0. Then we return res 0. Else self.results.value is just the empty list. And soup select, we have our tag. And I think it was self.tag.value.select, self.selector.value. And we put that into the results. And then get text is similar thing. So text.value is equal to self.value.get text. Then the extract all links. Page.value. Yeah, we probably want this to be a set, not a list. So when we add to frontier, it should be a set. There's already a set. Find all A tags. So let's find all the A tags for we have an href, right? So link href is what we want to get. And we'll make it an absolute because it could be either something that starts with HTTP or not. Do we have a URL channel? Do not. So let's add that in there. Yeah, and then the URL is equal to URL join base URL. We need the base URL. If we don't have from the thing. Yeah, so self.base URL.value. But it could be, yeah, so if href dot starts with HTTP, and then links.add that, else it starts with HTTP, so then links.add href. I think we should do if not or href dot starts with the S colon. We should probably go up to the colon. Okay, then we have our links. So self.links.value is equal to the links. And that should be everything. We have a simple crawler in theory. And it should run, so let's run it and see what happens. We need a user token. I thought it would pick that up, but if not, we can add that. Simply. Okay. We have compiled it. Oops. And we run it. And crawler is not defined. Crawler. Yeah. Be best if I could spell. When you do, you got to pass the context. And I spelled requests wrong. Sometimes I really miss having a compiler. The links add to frontier. Value. There you go. In our, oops, I forgot to do the things. Find page.value. Find all. We're all finished. Cool. Let's see what that did. Cool. We have the 4 things in there. So now we need to make it a loop. So now that is done, let's also first, after we initialize the Vecto client, let's delete the vector space entries. Just to give us a clean slate every time. And okay, so crawl essentially does this while crawler.toVisit. I think the empty set is false, so pretty sure we can just do like all crawler to visit. And add to frontier. Okay, so this is adding the things that are into visit, but we need to remove the things that we've already visited. So we want the difference between the two, I think. Guess it's not at the frontier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do. Let's test it, or just like show it in action. Okay, so we have our set to visit, which has a and visited is equal to the empty set. Now, let's say that we have now visited A, and then to visit has B. Okay, and then we're crawling the page and it links to A, B, and C. So links is equal to A, B, and C, right? And so if we do links minus visited, yeah, so to visit plus links minus visited. Yeah, to visit dot add links minus visited. Minus visited. To visit update links minus visited. Then we have to visit. We just have what does it have? ABC links minus visited was B and C. To visit was supposed to be so let's make to visit. It's just B, right? Visited is A, to visit is B, and links minus visited should be BC. So if we do to visit, which is B, updates, and we have links minus visited. To visit has C and B. Yeah, that's what we want. I was right. I wasn't crazy, I swear. So we'll have so to visit update crawler dot visited minus stop that one. Okay, now there's no depth here, and depth could be a thing that we want to do. And adding depth is just like tracking how far we are. It just makes it recursive, and we kind of have like an iterative thing here, so that makes it slightly difficult. That reminds me, did I set the URL here? Reload now. Yeah, it should be a base URL here. We have the current URL. Not necessarily the base URL. base URL is there's should be a base URL URL lib, right? Parse dot okay, what do we have in there? Do URL parse URL lib.parse.url parse docs.do.ai/started food, something like that. Base, okay, let's do that, find out what we have. URL is that. Can do net lock. Stuff vector. Parse. Not stuff vector. Yeah, 8888. And then scheme. Okay, so if we have things that start with slash, that works. And then if we things that don't start with slash, maybe this isn't so. What did I write again? Put URL join. URL lib port URL join. Where did I get that from? From URL parse. Yeah, it's in parse. So URL join. URL lib.parse.url join. We URL. Okay, yeah, okay, it's smart. I put we, then we getting started we slash we. Okay, yeah, never mind. We're good. So we can just do that. That works fine. And now, if we run this, it should index the entire site. If I didn't forget something. What did I forget? There you go. Cool. Then we're doing everything. We're all finished. Let's go to Vecto and refresh. And go to our Vecto docs. We have the 4 things, which is not what we wanted. One sec. Kind of expected more than 4 things, right? Crawl, I'll crawl to visit. Pop it to visit. Add that URL to visited. And in between, we should have extract links. We have extracted the links. But let's just check what we get here. You do have to close these things when you change like the base library. Okay, so we have those things. You see we have a mail to link, right? And other things in there. Let's check out add to frontier. I have the feeling that add to frontier is a little weird. So after we do that, let's look at what add to frontier says this set is, which even the way it works, it should be the empty set, right? Yeah. Why is it empty? If we have visited to visit, it's currently CB. So if visited is the empty set, I say visited minus links, you get the empty set. If I do links minus visited, you do that. So the order kind of matters. Maybe that doesn't look too good. Questions need to not return a valid response. That could be from OpenAI. Yeah, so let's another thing that's really important when dealing with crawlers is to pace yourself. So we will sleep for exactly 1 second. And I have the feeling that should be enough. It makes us go much slower, but that's what you need to do. Branch has no attribute when false. We need to fix that. I feel like I've fixed that many times. So in branches, a branch component. So if has after self when true, then next is equal to that. Else if has after self when false, and that. Yeah, I think that should do that. And then it could be that next doesn't exist because you didn't set it here. We can do next is equal to none. Guess we could kind of hack the depth by the number of times we call. We could either have a dictionary where it's like URL to depth and just ensure that don't go overboard there. Because it'd be like every time we extract the links, we increment the depth counter. And then when we set that, we essentially update the dictionary with the links and we set the depth. Essentially what we want is we look at the dictionary for the depths, and if the key isn't there, then we add the current depth in there. was kind of doing breadth first, right? So we start with that one, and we link, we do those, and we do the links, and we do those. So, yeah. Hopefully everything is not infinite looping. Let's try to double check that. So in here we can see auto scrolls, which is annoying. It's like I like auto scroll when I want it to auto scroll, but if I touch this, I don't want it to auto scroll. Could be that we're checking visited and they're not absolute URLs, which could be a thing. Could be a problem. But it is lunchtime and we do have a simple crawler running, I think. And this is definitely not good to run in here because this is going to get slower and slower as this gets bigger and bigger. So I think we'll stop it there. But we were able to crawl 144 things. So that's a good amount of paragraphs. You can see the paragraphs here. And we can search for stuff. So let's search for, what if I want to do cosine, or what's similar to cosine? Yeah, analogy, stuff like that. Ooh, image analogies and cosine similarities are very similar. Maybe like, what's a tutorial-like thing? For example, blue. We got our content, 1 items, 2 items, to install the Python SDK. Like what is the closest thing to blue? 2 items. I mean, I guess there wasn't anything that referenced any colors. If we look at cats, there should be some paragraphs of cats. I'm not sure if we indexed it or not. That could be that we have something along those lines. Python. I've installed Python SDK and stuff like that. You look for a snake. Yeah, you do have Python things in there. Even though it's a different thing. It's more like Monty Python. But anyway, we now have what I was setting out to do, which is to create this kind of crawler pipeline. So I will clean it up, post it on the GitHub sometime soon. And yeah, it's just the beginning, right? Like there's more than just select and get text and find first. So many more things that we do eventually have to add, but this is a good first step that I think will work with many websites. So I'm going to end the stream here today. Tuesday streams are a little shorter. So thanks for watching. Sorry about the audio issues in the beginning. And yeah, hopefully everyone here has learned something. or saw something interesting. And if you want more, then come to the Thursday live stream. It's a little bit more lively at that time. And we will probably be doing some low-level stuff when we do that, which is always fun. So yeah, so that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.